All right, so this is my review for Hard Kill. When I saw it advertised as a early release on iTunes, I thought I wasn't going to go in any high expectations because usually indie films are either a hit or a miss, and there's been plenty of kind of somewhat bad to somewhat good to even I've seen a couple of great ones, but there's a lot of them that come on iTunes. I thought this was interesting. I read the synopsis, or whatever you call it, the description below. So the story of this is pretty straightforward, run-of-the-mill generic. And I don't necessarily mean that in a good way. There's really nothing in here that's really new. It's just like pretty much painted perfect, or painted dot painted, or whatever you call it. What it is it's a typical where a ex-special ops is hired by some rich, powerful guy to do something for him, and he takes his team. And on the way, he has to deal with a friend of his that was in his platoon that turned terrorist, and now he's blowing up planes. And at some point down the line, you see that a lot of it is pretty predictable. Like the whole part of, and this is a spoiler, but I don't know if it would really matter to you because I'll get to that. But it's a point where they hire from one thing and then they all sort of, had a different agenda from what they were doing, what they had them there for. And so it was a whole different thing. And the acting in here, for the most of the characters in here were definitely generic. So for Sasha, who is played by Eve Mary, who apparently is a WWE diva, and I did not recognize her. I looked at a picture and I saw her with red hair. I don't know if that's who I think it is. I don't recognize the name with the hair. So that could be in a picture. I don't watch wrestling at all. Never really got into it. I know people are going to find that to be just bizarre because it's such a huge thing among people in the U.S. and Europe. And in Mexico, I imagine, too, because I think that's where it originated from. Her acting, okay, was just phoned in. I was kind of, when she was at the bar, I was kind of thinking it was okay. But then the whole scene started after that. And her and another female in here, they had crying scenes in here. And it was so unbelievable, it wasn't even funny. But I will give Eve Mary a credit. Is a positive of this is because she is a WWE star, and I didn't know this till after the movie, but I actually thought she did a spot-on job with the tactical movements and, the martial arts part of it. It was very believable, which is not surprising because, again, she's a WWE star. The other actor in here who is the guy who plays the head terrorist guy. I don't know who was worse. I don't know if he was worse or if Sasha was worse. And that's because he was phoning it in a lot, as much as she was. But he had those typical, standard, cliche, philosophical, little one-liner speeches, type of thing, and it really was cheesy, and it was just, I couldn't, I was there looking at the whole time he was talking about it, and I was like, what the hell is this? And I was actually way more going more of that into the movie as well, because the story is this bland. It is this bland, run of the mill, top of the line thing. I was honestly bored after 20 minutes, but I kept watching it. There was even a whole bunch of times where I just started kind of nodding off and even looking at other stuff, and I had to direct myself back to this because I had to finish the film to see if there was anything else getting in there, and there wasn't. The actor here, just the big one, is Bruce Willis. Now everyone knows who Bruce Willis is. He's known for this great actor for so many years. But what I have noticed, and this kind of bothers me a lot, is the past 3 to 4 years, he's usually in the small budget movies and even indie films, and they tend to suck more or less. But what bothers me most about him is you can tell in his acting in all of these, even though he always has a small part in there, it comes off strongly like he gave up on acting, like he doesn't care anymore. Like it's, he's in his 60s, I believe, or 70s, and it's like, you feel like at some point in a couple of years he's gonna, retire, because it's like he's just doesn't give a crap anymore about his acting career. It's just all for money now, which I understand. Life is not free, but it's this is disappointing, and I heavily noticed it over time. The other things about this movie is, and there's two things I noticed right away, and it was like this the whole movie, is the quality of the camera they use. It strongly comes off, and it's kind of obvious, that they used standard of the mill, $200 to $300, the standard camera. I don't even know if you would call it being shot in 780p. There's some parts in there which make me wonder if they used a different type of camera, because it was very clear, but that was only like 2 small parts, and it could just be the lighting of it. Now the other thing that I noticed is the soundtrack, and there was different ones throughout the whole thing. This whole soundtrack to this sounded really cheap. It sounded like something that would come out of a 80s or 90s thriller movie. It's kind of that downgraded. And there's even one particular one towards the end that sounded too much like they just took it from LA, Escape from LA or Escape from New York. It was that generic. The whole movie took, most of, like 99% of the, or 98% of the movie took place in this warehouse. And the movie as a whole strongly came off like it would be acceptable in 2008 or 2009 of the quality of that's used and whatnot for a homemade movie that's on YouTube. That's how bad it was. I have seen way worse, and the special effects in here were pretty bad. For the most part, the muzzle flashes tend to be, hit or miss a lot in this. I honestly just flat out did not like this movie. I thought this was really bad. I honestly was immediately thinking, how is this a 2020 movie? How? And I don't know if I said at the beginning, I completely forgot now. I believe this was in select theaters, and I don't understand why. I have easily seen, as of 2014 and above, or is he in 2015? YouTube videos, like usually short horror videos and action movies that have like way better camera shots, way better camera usage, more like the quality of the camera, and a lot more realistic acting. Yeah, I mean, I honestly would definitely give this movie a solid 1 star out of 5. It immediately, when about 30 minutes in, I already know it's gonna be 1, and I wanted to change my mind throughout it, because sometimes they can get better, and there's sometimes some good stuff in here. Yeah, it was definitely, I had low expectations, but even that was too high. It was a poorly done movie. They could have, saved up more for better quality gear, and they definitely could have, there's a lot of acting classes out there, and they could have tried to do some, go to do that. I don't know if this is their first film or who the director is, but yeah, I mean, horrible film. I've gone long enough. Yeah, I don't know when I'll be doing the next movie, because I have like a whole bunch of TV shows I want to do. So I'm a bit conflicted. But stay tuned, hit the bell icon, please subscribe, and like the video. Stay safe out there. COVID's still going on, and fires over here in Washington. The air is just horrible. But yeah, I mean, have a good day, and skål, everyone.